This Cookout Clash 2025 Underdog Fantasy Picks edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with our promo code RACESGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Earn up to $750 per month on your sports gambling transactions. Go to edgeboost.net, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHM.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you ask me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Doesn't matter who else stops talking racing things, ladies and gentlemen. We are the NASCAR Gambling Podcast, and we are talking racing things. More specifically, race betting things, race picking things, race all kinds of other things. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. We continue to stand while others fall. Hi, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, buddy. I'm doing great. Just to update everyone, in case you're following my trash can story, I did remember that today is Thursday. I did take the trash bins down to the curb on the correct day this time. So things are a little better today than they were yesterday.
You know, that's the day. Those are days. And I know that it's getting colder here in California, but you want to just stay in bed anyways because it's cold. But when you have something like that, you definitely want to just stay in bed. It's a do-over day.
Oh, no. I thought it was that day, and it's not that.
Cody's do-over day is going much, much better. So, yes. Welcome to Thursday. If you're listening to this on Friday, happy Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever. Happy day to you, King, and we are live. Yes, we are. Old-fashioned football. Hey, Justin, checking in saying, what was the quote? He's just going to push it until he sees a checkered flag or God. That's the one I need to put in. Right.
I don't remember who that was, but yes, we do need to find that quote and add. I think we just add it to the thing. And Justin wants to know, is it cold in Cali, like 48? It is 46 degrees here. Must be a little warmer over on the other side of the river there in Iowa, where old-fashioned football is. But we've been enjoying our summertime, Rob.
Well, we have been enjoying a plunge into winter. I mean, it was like 36 when I woke up this morning. It's probably like 50-something right now. So, yeah, I'm going to complain because that's just what we do in California. We love to complain. But
there you go.
We can't complain.
It was somebody in the ARCA race at Daytona that did say that that King was saying. So we'll have to dig that clip up and get it added in there.
We most certainly will. But we can be thankful for the fact that we have Underdog for the Clash. Let's go. Underdog, thank you so much for picking this today of all days to drop them because we were going to do it today. So
like we know what we're doing with these shows and how we have them scheduled, Rob. It's weird.
I don't know. Maybe, 575 episodes in, I think we've learned a thing or two. But yeah, today we're going to break down some underdog picks for you for the Clash. Some good picks, actually. I think there's really good value out there to be had. So gonna have some fun breaking all that down for you. But before we do, I want to tell you that SGPN is running a free squares pool for the Super Bowl. I said it. It's free. And you get $1,000. It's a winner take all. So the winner is going to walk away with $1,000 while everybody else will just have fun playing, just have some fun taking part in it. But one person gets $1,000 for the final score square. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/squares. Sign up today. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/squares. Totally free. Cody, I know we've got a couple of contests running. What do we got going?
Oh, we have a lot of contests running, Rod, which is great. If you go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Daytona, you get entered into our completely free Daytona 500 contest. Super easy. Fill out the form, pick your winner for the Daytona 500. That's all you got to do. As we know, anybody can win those races. And we've seen some crazy winners over the past couple of years. Pick the guy you're on, and if you pick correctly, then you'll be entered in with the winners to get $100 cold hard cash, $100 gift card. Also giving away a NASCAR Gambling Podcast hoodie to one lucky fan. A couple of our brand new Race Officials or Terrorist shirts. Go check those out. Those are pretty snazzy over in the store, Rod. If you want to go buy one in the store right now, you can use the promo code Big Game, all one word, and get 15% off of ordering that now between now and the Super Bowl too. So that's great. We've got the one and done pool up and running. Go over to at NASCAR Gambling or my page at Husker_Zeeb for more details on that. And coming soon, the NASCAR.com Fantasy League. That's going to be, again, for a gift card, bragging rights, all that fun stuff as well. I'll have that set up by tomorrow at the list.
So much going on, and that's the best part about it is it's free. It's all free to you guys. You can have some fun taking advantage of that. Although Justin, he's saying, wait, I thought it was for the Superb Owl, not the Super Bowl. So he's been studying up on the wrong birds. You may not. I mean, who knows? The Chiefs could very much do this for you. So who knows? Hey, listen, I'm probably going to be fidgety today. For those of you watching on YouTube, if you see me jumping around, it's our Friday, essentially. So I'm just sort of anxious to get the quasi weekend started. And I'm like definitely a little jumpy, a little antsy today. I think I've been shaking my fist at the sky too much. I'm telling Cody before, and I'm turning into an old cranky guy. And so, it's not good for the soul.
That's all right, Rod. It's we're a few episodes into the show. We're starting to get used to it now, anyways.
I hope so. But all right, so there is a couple of things you wanted to touch on, Cody, before we got going with our underdog pick. So what's that one piece of news that you wanted to get there?
Yeah, not a ton of news. We've sort of covered everything earlier on in the week, but this came out today. In-car camera streams for all 40 drivers will be available on Max. So you're going to have a Max subscription. Of course, formerly HBO. Now it's just called Max. But it is going to be video synced with the data scanner. So you can pop over there. If you want to watch Kyle Busch's race, watch Kyle Busch's race from his view, hear his scanner, all that stuff. Chase Elliott, Ty Gibbs, whatever driver you're wanting to watch, Jimmy Johnson, the Daytona 500, assuming he makes it, Rod, you could watch him. So that is great. And then for scanner audio, the premium subscription of the NASCAR mobile app starting at Daytona will be available to NASCAR fan rewards members on the NASCAR website, I guess. So that's a little confusing to me. But so maybe you have to be a NASCAR fan rewards member, which you should be. If you're not signed up for that, go do that. But yeah, having the Max and getting the all-encompassing video linked, synced with the scanner, with the data. I would imagine it's going to have all sorts of data, maybe at lap times, whatever else on there on each individual driver's screens. That alone probably worth signing up for Max for.
I thankfully already have one of those. As a huge Game of Thrones fan, I already have that. So I will enjoy that benefit. And yes, maybe I will watch along with Jimmy Johnson during the Daytona 500. I know he'll make it. So that's going to be fun. And remember back in the 2004, 2005, when they were just really introducing the technology of being able to follow. There were the little dots around the track, and you were able to follow it on the website and hear the scanners. That was crazy.
It's come a long way, Rod. So now, it's pretty cool to watch it from your driver's perspective, and you get to see how their race is going. A lot of times they're focused on the leaders, they're focused on the battles. You don't necessarily know what's going on with your individual driver. You're trying to follow updates and stuff, or just listen to the scanner, but having it synced up with the racing from their car, I think that is great. Chat doing our work for us, Rod. It was the 73 ARCA car. Andy J is the one who said it. TK tossing in that he said, not lifting until I see God or a checkered flag. Pops up via Google, YouTube, so it should be easy to find. So that's your assignment, Rod. Mark checking in. Shout out to Mark. Finally, time for some racing. We are 2 days away, Rod, from Cars on Track. Let's go. Oh, gotta love it.
Gotta love it. I definitely love it for sure. King's canceling the NASCAR app. He's already got HBO Max.
That's even better if you already have
talking about. Although I'll tell you what, this right now, guys. If we were Game of Thrones characters, which one would we be? That's fun for you guys. Figure that out in the chat while we while we go there. And then Homer saying the same way everyone says Twitter and no one says X, everyone says HBO Max and no one just says Max. A dumb name change. It is.
Sometimes like human beings are just, I don't know if it's they're too smart for their own good or maybe it's because they're not smart. I don't know. But like if you've got this big established brand of Twitter with the blue bird, like it is its thing. You send out tweets. Why do you need to change it? Why? Did we accomplish anything there? No, we didn't. So
I will always type twitter.com. Always type.
It's still going to take it to the same place because it's the same fucking thing. So don't change it.
Exactly. No, and here's the thing. Like I bit the X for a while, right? I said it and I was having fun with it, but now I'm just back to Twitter. I don't care.
I do find myself just referring to it as the X at this point in time because it's just what you do, but I do agree that it's stupid.
Indeed. What's not stupid is this clash race that we're about to partake in. We've already talked about, a lot of it. We talked about the format already. So if you go back into our betting episode, our DFS episode, you can get caught up on the format. Just suffice it to say that this Underdog Fantasy Picks are going to be for the main event, which is the final 200 laps of the weekend. So don't worry about the qualifiers. Don't worry about, the only thing you got to worry about those is if that driver doesn't make it into the finals, and then you got to pay attention to that. So don't just make your picks and then, think you're good until the day of the clash. Make sure that you're checking and making sure that those drivers are actually advancing into the finals, or else they'll definitely be worse then, but they won't even be in the race.
Yeah. And so I was trying to find specific rules to on Underdog here for this weekend, because obviously you sort of have the same thing where it's not, so I don't know. They don't have any rules listed that I can see just from sort of looking around here quickly. So just keep that in mind as you pick these guys. Even if they don't make the race, I would assume that that's going to count. So that can your favor go against you, right? If you have a worse, then they don't make the main event. Pretty good. So, you can look farther into the rule book if you'd like to make sure but I would treat it as if, you play a worse, then they're going to get, if they don't make it, you're going to get counted. If you play better than and they don't make it, you're going to get counted against. So that's at least how I would approach it without officially knowing.
Indeed. And if you're new to Underdog Fantasy, if this may be your first opportunity to play or even to hear about Underdog Fantasy, first of all, welcome. And I don't know what rock you're living under, but I want to join you in it for a while and forget the world. But Underdog Fantasy, they give you a finishing projection where the driver is going to finish, where they think they're going to finish. And then you pick, and this is the great part about it. I think we cried enough about the language the last couple of seasons that they gave into us and they're like, all right, fine. You're just going to, here you go. You can either finish better than or worse than that finishing projection. So obviously if they set it at, let's say, 8.5, if you finish at 8 or better, then you make sure that you count that. And then if they finish 9th or worst, then obviously it's the other direction. So better than, worse than, very simple. And then of course, make sure you sign up with the promo code RACESGPN when you get in there. If you haven't already, you're going to get a lot of fun perks and all that other good stuff. And I'll tell you more about all of that later.
Yeah, great sign up bonuses. So if you haven't signed up for Underdog, if you're new to it, just getting into it, maybe it's newly available where you're at or whatever, get signed up, use that promo code RACESGPN.
Yes, indeed.
And just to toss it out there too, you can cross sports. So if you want to cross sports with the NFL stuff, along with the NASCAR stuff, which we're probably going to do that next week. I know we've got a show prepared next week that is going to be crossover stuff with the Super Bowl and the Daytona 500 for betting purposes. You can do the same thing on Underdog, right? I guess assuming that they get the Daytona 500 stuff out, but you can actually, I talked Sean, you were listening on the main show when I was on there the other day. Sean put in a season-long play with a couple of the season projections along with the Jalen Hurts rushing or receiving touchdown higher than. So you even got them in on the NASCAR stuff.
Well, I tell you, when that one hits, when the Super Bowl one hits, and he's still got to wait until November to cash his or to get the other ones to hit, that's going to be funny. That's going to be a very, very, very long sweat for him.
It's going to give him a reason to keep checking back in, which you love.
It sure will. All right, you could check back in with us in a second. Actually, just stay with us. That's the easiest thing to do. And we'll be back to give you some of our underdog picks. But first, let me tell you about Edge Boost. SGPN has partnered with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost cards allow you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, or casino. Telling you, I got firsthand experience with this. I was all ready to deposit some money while I was in Virginia, and I could not do it because my card would not allow me to put any money into my account. I was very devastated because I was so ready to actually win some money while I was away. Couldn't do it. Now with Edge Boost, you can. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. And you know your money's safe. The card is FDIC insured. The best part of it all, no credit check. Whew, thank God. And just like everything else on the SGPN network, it is completely free. Sign up today. Use promo code SGPN so you get better cash back rewards. And listen, we pull back the velvet rope for you, all right? We're not going to try to send you in with the unwashed masses. Nah, you're a VIP. You're a VIP when you're with us. I get so emotional about it because I love you guys so much. You get instant tier 2 status. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. That's edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet every sport, plus props for every game and the live dealer casino. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. It's easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Looking right now at this clash, top 3 bets are on there now on mybookie.ag. Give me Kyle Busch, top 3. Get this, plus 320. Oh, Lord. Second, third, or second in his last 3 clashes. You're getting plus 320 for a Kyle Busch top 3. Yes, please. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. I know you're not allowed to legally print money, but Jesus, that is as close as you can get to printing money for yourself, that top 3 bet for Kyle Busch.
It sure is. A good way to not print money would be to bet your entire net worth on Alex Bowman to win a Bowman Gray. Is that a bad move, Homer? Yes. This track does have his name all over it, noted, but I would probably not do all that.
No, I mean, I know that there's narratives, and I know that there's
depending on what your net worth is. I mean, if it's $5, maybe it could change your life. Who knows?
That's me. That's Life Jets. Double up money right there. $5. That's going to send me. What is it? In Euro Trip, where the guy, they go to that country and he gives him a nickel tip, and he's like, "I'm going to start my own hotel," and he like throws the rest of it at. That's me. That's my life.
There you go.
All right. Speaking of our life is to serve you and giving you underdog fantasy picks on this day. So, Cody, we've already laid out the premise. We've already laid out everything that's entailed in this. So why don't we just start by giving them our picks?
Let's jump into it, Rod. I am going to start off with my guy, Ryan Preece, better than 12.5. This is beautiful. I've been talking about Ryan Preece all week. Absolutely love him. I really loved betting on him. We talked about that earlier in the week. You're getting really good numbers, but this is even better because all he has to do is finish in the top 12. That's it. Yes, I really, really like this. Modified guy, short, flat track guy, going to be in the modified event also leading up to before this race. Extra track time. He's going to work the lines, know all the stuff. This is his type of racing. This is where he's going to show up. The Clash the last couple of seasons, 11th place last year in the 41 car, the 60 car that he's in now. Remember, he's over at RFK. That's an upgraded car. 7th place in 2023 in that 41 car. Again, in an upgraded car now. Made the final 22 in 2022 rather. He made the main event. That's what I'm trying to say, Rod. And he looked good in that race in the Rick Ware 15 car. Mechanical issue. That's going to happen in those cars, right? We've talked about that, but probably or would have been close to hitting that even in the Rick Ware 15 car. That gives you a lot of hope for him now in this better. This is the best car he's ever started in, right? He spent some time JTG, spent some time at Stewart Haas, spent some time in the Rick Ware car. This is going to be his best opportunity. This is the type of track where he's going to show up and look good. 12.5 for Ryan Preece. I love it. So give me the better then.
Well, and then we didn't even really kind of touch on the fact that there's not going to be a full field, right? This the final of the main event is only pretty much 23 in the
23,
end, right?
yep.
So he's just got to finish better than.
So yeah, make the main event, and then you only have to beat a handful of guys. That actually is really nice as well. And I would suggest getting these in before the practice and qualifying on Saturday, because I don't know what Underdog will do. I would imagine these will come down during all of that stuff. Do they go back up in between the last chance qualifier and the race? Not a risk I probably would be willing to take. So I would get your plays in earlier in the week. And again, like I said earlier, just sort of plan accordingly.
Yeah, because I mean, even if you lock those in, or we lock the ones that we give you in now, or even the ones that you like now, chances are you can still go back, obviously, and edit your picks. So if something changes and you don't like it, then you could bail out of it and pull it back up again. But it's better, like Cody said, to go in now, lock these in, just in case you actually get in better than what you would have got in if you would have waited. So definitely like that as well. All right. I'm going to move on to mine. My first one is the Melon Man himself, Ross Chastain. His finishing position is set at 11.5. Give me the better then. Look, I know that we really haven't. We touched a little bit on Ross Chastain during the betting episode, and not even really at all during the DFS episode, because in this instance, it just doesn't feel like he's one of the sexy names. Obviously, we talked about Logano, we talked about Busch, we talked about Larson, we talked about Bell and Blaney, and all these guys that we expect to be in the top 5, obviously in the top 10 as a result. But Ross Chastain sort of slid underneath the radar, and I'm going to bring him back out because for Ross Chastain, I just have this sneaky feeling that we're in for a better season from him, and it starts with the Clash. Now, unfortunately, he didn't make the final in 2022, but in 2023, he finished 8th here on the Clash, not here specifically, but in the Clash, obviously in the Coliseum. And by the way, obviously, if you're not familiar, Bowman Gray, quarter-mile track, much like LA, it's not exactly the same. The banking's a little different in it, or there's no banking, to be honest with you, but it's just, it's still a quarter-mile track. So it's almost like apples to a Granny Smith apple to a Fiji apple. They're still apples. There's just that little difference between
in the same apple family, slightly different taste.
Yeah. One's a little more bitter than the other, but you'll still eat an apple.
Which one that is, we're about to find out.
Seriously. And then last year he ended up finishing in 15th, but he did start 7th in that one. So he had a pretty good, solid start. Just couldn't hold on for the finish. Cody talked about it too, that there was some stuff going on in that particular race last year that sort of changed things a little differently. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and think that he could have at least finished maybe 4 positions better than that. But our friends at iFantasy Race really have given us a great look too at Ross Chastain. The average running position for Ross Chastain is 12.3 really, but 12th overall. It was 11.9 in 2023, 12.6 in 2024. So look, he's been hanging around that 11th place position. He was the 11th driver in terms of driver ratings during the 3 clashes in the Coliseum. Obviously, like I said, he's only been in 2 in the finals, but yeah, I think a top 10 is possible for Ross Chastain. He's got the car to do it. He's talented enough of a driver to do it. The question is, Cody, can he get over what happened last year and actually start putting together some good finishes?
Yeah, I think that we're going to see a really solid season from Ross this year, and I think that probably starts this week at the Clash. So I do like this pick. I did find the rules, Rod. Probably should have done this before the show, but yeah, why prepare when you could do it on the fly? The Underdog rules say if a player does not complete a qualifying lap, picks for the qualifying session will be voided. If a driver, this doesn't really answer it either, because it says if they start the race and drive for any amount of time, their picks will be considered valid, even if they don't complete a single lap. So still unclear in this. That's I guess good to know for the future when, for some reason a driver doesn't start the race after, an injury or something between qualifying and the race. It's not going to count. But I'm, I guess, unclear as I read that out loud on the exact rules. So again, I would treat it as if all picks are going to be counted and just go from there.
Yeah, because again, this has got qualifying heats. It's got practice that counts towards qualifying. There's a whole lot of moving parts to this one. So
And then, Homer is wondering, is this track similar at all to the go-kart track they built in LA? If not, seems tough to base anything on the last few years' results. Yeah, this is something we've talked about the last couple of days on the show. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it. It is almost the same exact type of track. It's slightly different. This one's a little more rounded, whatever, but they're both quarter-mile tracks. They're both completely flat, 0 degrees of banking. They both, the Coliseum was on a football field. This one is around a football field, but same in size, same style and everything. So while it's actually the most direct comparison you're going to get of looking at anything. So, we've sort of taken throughout the week and compared short, flat guys. If they're good at Martinsville, you can kind of compare that here to a degree. Even a New Hampshire, a Phoenix, shorter, flatter tracks. A little farther away comparisons in Iowa, Richmond types of places. But the Clash the last 3 years is actually the best comparison you're going to get for what to expect here, right? We don't have any data from any of these guys on this track, but it is very, very similar and similar enough that that's going to be kind of the one to look at to pull how these guys have done. Plus, there's a lot to be said about, how does a guy start the season? Does he come in swinging right away? Does it take him time to warm up? Things like that. Also, the exhibition part of it, this type of format, it's similar to what it's been in previous years. So it does sort of all flow together, I suppose. So it is the best way to look at. Again, not a perfect exact comparison, but the closest you're going to get for sure.
Well, and it's not as if we're coming from Daytona to like the expansive wild fields of Daytona to a quarter-mile track in LA. Like at least you have the same quarter-mile distance.
Yeah, it is. And it's a lot of the same similarities. So definitely good comparison. Knowles Nick checking in as well. Hard Rock has Toyota plus 275. Little eyes emoji there. That is a bit mispriced. I don't hate that at all.
I don't know. You know how I feel. I feel like
I'm not racing to go get it, but compared to what it's priced on other books, it's a pretty decent number if you are liking the Toyotas this weekend. I'd rather probably just bet Christopher Bell outright if we're going to say so, but hey, I might have some coverage.
Nope, not indeed. Okay, we'll continue on with our picks, but first I want to tell you about Underdog Fantasy officially. We've been talking about Underdog Fantasy this entire show, but allow me to introduce them to you formally. Underdog Pick'em has one of the biggest menus for all of sports. Underdog is always making it easier to win with profit boosts and gimme pick'ems. NFL, college basketball, MMA, NBA, NASCAR, Formula One, Supercross. Yeah, if you look on my Twitter, there is a video that I just put out about Supercross, motorcycle racing. If you love NASCAR racing, if you love F1, if you love all that, check out the Supercross. They got an event going on Saturday. I give you 2 of my favorite picks for that particular race. Plus, you can use specials and boost on all of your flex entries. We've been giving you Underdog picks this entire show. We'll continue to do it after the break. So sign up with our promo code RACESGPN. You're going to claim a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code RACESGPN. SGPN's proud partner, Rhythm, is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds. Build your own model, copy one of the top-performing models from the leaderboard, or have Rhythm build a model for you. It's the NFL playoffs. They haven't been going your way so far. Rhythm will help you turn things around with 3 games left, the best of the season. Rhythm's AI-powered predictions for prop bets and game lines will set you up for success through the Super Bowl. NFL picks, NFL props, college basketball, and NBA. Rhythm has it all. Building myself a Rhythm model to try to figure out which side of Saquon Barkley's rushing to be on for the Super Bowl. I'm hoping that it gives me a very high projection so that I can take the under on this one, because I don't think he's going to get there. I'm the contrarian, but I won last week, so I'll do it again this week or this coming week if I have to. So claim your 7-day free trial today in the process. Going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. We got to work with Rhythm to get NASCAR up on there. Love to get some projections from NASCAR.
That would be pretty nice. I think we should get Sean to fire off those angry emails. That seems to help us.
It's all of the to whom it may concern. Give us what we want.
Yes.
All right, what we want, more Underdog picks.
Here's what the fans want, Rod. KFB. They have got Mr. Kyle fucking Busch set fantasy projection, finishing position, finishing projection. That's the words I was trying to find, Rod. Finishing position. Oh, I fucked it up again. All right, whatever. They've got him set at 7.5. Oh, here we go. First of all, I want to say hello to JDK in the chat. JDK, you're on the clock in our fantasy draft. So if you could please go make your selection. Thank you very much. Okay, after that public service announcement, 7.5 is where they've got KFB projected, Rod. As I said so eloquently before, Rod, 3 races at the Coliseum. Do you know how many times Kyle Busch finished worse than 7th place in all 3 of those events?
I'm going to have to go out on a limb and say 0 because that's what it
Zero
is.
Do you know how many times he finished worse than 6th, 5th, or 4th place, Rod? 0 times. That's right. He is 3 for 3 at finishing 3rd place or better in the Clash at the Coliseum. That's in the Gibbs Toyota. That's in the RCR 8 car twice. And we're back, right? Another Clash, another season, another opening year, similar track, all of the same things. He doesn't have to win this race. He doesn't have to finish in the top 3. He doesn't have to finish in the top 5. He just has to finish 7th place or better. Abso-fucking-lutely. Give me some Kyle Busch this week. Better than 7.5. This is, I mean, I'm not going to say anything's a free square, right? Nothing's guaranteed, but come on. What are we doing here? So, some of the numbers we've got some of these guys set at, and you're giving a 7.5 when Kyle's gotten it done. And, but last year was so bad and so horrible, except that he was so close to 2 wins. He was so close to making the playoffs. We're so close to talking about things being completely different. Love KFB this weekend. Better than 7.5.
100%. I am with you on this one. Obviously, you know that I feel like he could actually win this race, and you do too, which, spoiler alert, go back, listen to the racing or the betting episode, and you'll find out that both of us are very high on Kyle Busch this particular weekend. And so, yeah, I mean, I saw that too. I was going to put it as one of mine, but I was like, we've been hammering Kyle Busch so much this last week that I don't know that anybody would not know to take that right away. So I'm glad you put it.
You still got to say it, right? What if somebody like Homer's maybe hasn't got to the other shows yet, just checking in for this one? Boom. Now he knows how much we love Kyle Busch.
This is true. It's my whole thing with Kyle Larson, right? Yesterday when I was saying, can you tell?
It felt like Thursday, so it felt like last Thursday.
That's true. I told you guys not to overthink the Kyle Larson play, and now here we are telling you not to overthink the Kyle Busch play either. So, love it. Big fan of that one. That one's on my lineup for sure.
Rod, I am a big fan of your next one because if you did not beat me to the dock and get this in, I 100% would have played this play.
Dennis Hamlin, who, as we see, has now got his sports clip hauler with the lonely sports clip on there. No FedEx, no anything else, just sports clip and Denny Hamlin. And they're not going to finish better than 4.5 on this one. So give me Denny Hamlin, worse than 4.5 place finish. Guys, I know that he won the Clash last year. Rod, he won the Clash last year. Yeah, but he didn't do it the last 2 years before that. And last year's Clash, I mean, look, he led 58 laps to Denny Hamlin. Sure, that's great. He had a pretty fantastic day, but after that, his season just went to hell. Like it did not improve much after that. There were some highs. Sure, it's Denny Hamlin. He didn't suffer all the lows, but like, I'm just not big on Denny Hamlin finishing well in this particular race. It's been a tumultuous offseason, to say the least. Lawsuits and sponsor losses. And, listen, I always tell you, these guys are so close to retirement. Denny Hamlin, one of those guys. I don't know how much longer he's got in the sport.
Old guy, always picking on the old guys.
I will shake my fist at everyone over 40 because that's the way. Look, I know that. I barely wanted to get out of bed every day, let alone go drive a race car. So I don't know how these guys are doing it past 40 something. But Denny Hamlin, are on our buddies on iFantasy Race. The average running position for Denny Hamlin in the 3 Clash races in LA, 7th. That is not better than 4.5. And then his driver rating is actually sitting right at 5th. So half a spot out of this one as well. So like I said, he won last year. That's fantastic. But he finished 9th in 2023, dead last in 2022 after running only 52 laps in that particular race. So just look, can he finish in the top 10? Yep, he can. But I don't think he's got a top 5 finish in him, especially when we're talking about guys like Kyle Busch in there, Kyle Larson in there, when we're talking about guys like maybe even Chase Briscoe stealing one. Those guys are all going to have much better runs Hey, listen, I said it's a possibility. Okay. I put him in with Kyle Larson, who I know is going to be in the top 5. So, So give me Denny Hamlin worse than 4.5.
Yeah. Denny Hamlin, you could certainly look at last year, and he was really good on short tracks. So there is that. He did win the Clash, right? But the thing with these short projections is he has to finish in only the top 4. When you look at even a top 7, like a Kyle Busch has to get, that's a big difference. It's almost twice as many cars, right? And there's been a lot of changes over there. They've had a lot of things going in and out. The crew chief change, I keep hitting on it, but I really think that it's going to be a big thing, and I think that it might take them some time to figure each other out. And I hope that I'm wrong. I used to really just not like Denny Hamlin, but over the last couple of seasons, as he's gotten his own podcast and kind of put himself out there, and he's teamed up with Michael Jordan, the greatest athlete of all time, right? That kind of makes you like the guy too. And he owns Tyler Reddick's car, which I love. All these things that just make me like Denny Hamlin now. So I don't want to see him do bad. I'm completely not on him to start the season. And he, go back and think about it. He hasn't won since, I think, April of last year. It's been a long time. You want to harp on how bad Kyle Busch's season was. Well, was Denny's that much better? Maybe not really, right? Yes, better average finish, whatever, better team, all that stuff. But I don't think he's going to finish inside the top 4. He can still have a good day and not do that. So I do like that pick as well.
I agree. And yeah, I mean, again, this is the first race that he's got a new voice in his ear. So how well is that going to translate into his first race of the season? All right, Cody, one more to go for our Underdog Fantasy Picks. Who do you got?
Yeah, Rod. Well, you said Chase Briscoe might finish better than 4.5, but I don't think he's going to finish better than 5.5. Give me Chase Briscoe worse than 5.5. Look, this is such a turnaround. If you've been with this show over the past couple of years, we get to short flat tracks, and we are just throwing money left and right at Chase Briscoe. We're excited about it. We can't wait. You always get a good number on his top 5. You always take some to win, and it's great. But that's because, and we talk about this often on the show, sometimes our feelings towards guys, and very much so with the Denny Hamlin thing a minute ago, is because of where they're at, right? Where their projection's set at. If Denny Hamlin was set at 9.5, we'd probably be having a completely different story and conversation about it, right? But it is set so short. And that's the case with Briscoe here, is he moves over to the 19 car, and we all just snap our fingers, and magically he's a top guy. I mean, he's got better odds to win this race and be the top finishing Toyota than Christopher Bell does. I cannot comprehend that. I don't understand it. And I think that we've just swung the pendulum too far in the holy shit, Chase Briscoe is suddenly going to be great. Let's pump the brakes. I think that Chase Briscoe can be fine. If he comes out and wins this race, I'm not going to be overly shocked by that. He's good at short flats. He's in a good car now that, Gibbs cars are traditionally good at him. Truex was good at him. All those things, I get it. But Truex didn't win in his last year. And Briscoe, you go back to this race, well, he's been really good at short flat tracks, Rod. So give him that, right? Well, 7th place last year. Okay, it's a good run. Stewart-Haas, he has upgraded his car. I'll give you that, right? But getting from 7th to 5th could be a bit of a jump, even in a better car, right? But the other 2 seasons, 15th in 23, 22nd in 2022, not great finishes there in either of those. Go back to last season, he only finished in the top 5 rather, 3 times. I completely lost those numbers. He only finished in the top 5 3 times all of last season, Rod. That's not a bunch of, instilling confidence that, and I get it. Going from SHR to Gibbs is a very large upgrade. Yes. Still got to get comfortable over there. We got to see how things roll. Another crew chief situation I don't love with James Small still being over there. I'm just, until I see it from Briscoe, I'll be quick to flip and get on him and be like, okay, it's here, it's real. But we had this do you remember, Rod, a couple of years ago? I think it was our second year in doing this, and Chase Briscoe won that one race at Phoenix. I think the next year his win total was like 2.5, or it was maybe it was only 1.5, but it was just like everybody was just freaking out about him. Oh, this is Briscoe. We saw it. This is and just completely shit the bed. Didn't win any races. I had a massive bet on him, his under to win races that year. And just, everybody wants him to be really great, and that's good, but pump the brakes a little bit here. I think we've jumped too far ahead. Let's slow down. Give me Chase Briscoe worse than 5.5.
it's when you move into a new situation, it's not going to instantly mean that you're rocketed to the front. And I know that he's getting in such a great position right now. And it should mean that, like King says, people who think Briscoe is going to get in the 19 and win multiple races can be disappointed. And it's just a matter of he's got to get his feet situated. He's jumping into a situation where he's going from, I don't know, I can't even think of an equivalent of maybe a triple A team to a full big league team, right? I mean, this is an establishment that's much, much more complex than what you just came from, especially since it was the last year of SHR. Everybody's doors were closing. Now you jump into an elite team. Yeah, give him a second.
I don't remember who it was. I think that it was Bianchi and Gluck that were talking about the other day. But, it used to be you could hide behind, we outran all our teammates, right? Okay, good. Great day, right? Doesn't matter. We were 25th. We outrun all the SHR cars. Good. That's not the case anymore. Now you got Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, and Ty Gibbs in the house. There's no hiding bad performances behind things. To the same point, they were talking about JGR breaks. Maybe I think it was the Corey LaJoy podcast actually with Flores, but because I think they were getting into the pit road thing where they have 2,000 metrics that they measure their pit stops by, which are 9 seconds, right? And there's that many. So think of all the things that measure the race car drivers by in the performance, and so there's no hiding behind anything. And some of that stuff might get exposed, especially early as he gets over there. You don't always just jump in a car like that and hit the ground running. Maybe you do if you're Kyle Larson when he gets in the 5 car, right? We've seen it. I don't think Chase Briscoe's there. Chase Briscoe's a talented guy. I think he's going to be fine going forward. I just think first race right out of the gate, we've jumped our expectations from we need to go back and look and see what his odds were last year, but I can't imagine they were anywhere close to what they are this year. And it's just been way too much of an overcorrection. And I'm not there on Briscoe yet.
Somebody I'm not there on, Joey Logano. His finishing projection is set at 5.5. I'm taking the worst then. And really, I'll only just close up shop by saying it's an odd year. Everybody that says to me, oh yeah, but he finished here in 2022. Yeah, he did. He won this race in 2022. But the only thing that gives me pause, is that this is a new track for this. And we know that Joey Logano, this is one narrative that we sort of swept under the table this year because sometimes you run with only one of the narratives, and you can either run with this is a new track Joey Logano, or this is an odd year Joey Logano. So I'm running with the odd year Joey Logano, not the new track Joey Logano, even though I have a feeling that if one person's going to upset the apple cart in this, it's definitely going to be Joey Logano, because he's that kind of guy that you could just stack all the chips against him and he'll be like, no, it's a new track. So that trumps the odd year Joey Logano. But again, when you look at the last few years, he did finish 4th in this race in the Clash in 2023. Did not have a good finish in 2024. He finished in 4th. In 2023, if I can get my numbers correct, he ended up finishing not in the top 4 in 2023. And then he finished 1st, obviously, in 2022.
Oh, do you see the trend here, Rod?
I do. Even good, odd, bad. So I know that our buddies at iFantasy Race have him pretty much locked in. He's 4th in average running position across the 3, and then 3rd in driver rankings. But like I said, sometimes you just got to ride one narrative, and King, we may have just become best friends. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. Listen, this one's got you tricky. So if you don't feel this one, I get it. But I still am buying into the odd year narrative for Joey Logano. I don't think he's going to get a top 5 finish. Because, again, we've crowded this top 5, and I don't know how he cracks in on some of these drivers when it's, kind of a different situation. So maybe the new track Joey trumps the odd year Joey, but I'm not buying it.
Yeah, agreed. I think that I'm scared of Joey Logano always because he is so hard to predict. But I do think that odd year thing is going to continue. It's the championship hangover. And you can't trust the guy. I think that's the biggest thing, right? So when it's a number that's set pretty low, again, it's only 5.5. He's got to be one of those top 5 guys. That's where you don't like it as much. I will reminder he is the only guy that's locked into the main event, so he will be in the final 23. I get it, but I do agree with you there. Rod, if people don't know, if you've never played Underdog Fantasy, you don't know how it works, you can put all these picks together. So you could select these 6 picks if you would like to, build your own or however you want to do it. If you do these 6 picks and they all hit, 35 times your money. That's pretty nice. If you toss a 7th pick in there, you can go 65 times. If you toss an 8th pick, you can go 120 times your money. And you can do just 2 guys. If you're really confident in 2 guys, go down all the way down there. And obviously, the multiplier changes by how many people you add. But it is a very fun game. You don't have to worry about beating 1,000 other people or what they got on their score, what you got on your score. It's just were you right, were you wrong? Easy as that.
It's such an easy concept. This is why I absolutely love Underdog Fantasy. It just makes it so easy for you, because DFS can get a little daunting as you sit there and watch yourself plummet from 3rd to 4th on a pit stop and then 4th to 50th on a pit stop. And you're like, my drivers, and then it shoots back up to 3rd again because everybody cycled through. There's none of that. At the end of the race, it's either there or it's not for you. And that's the sweat you've got going on, not how well you're performing against everybody else. It's how well you're performing against your own brain. So, all right, get out your pen and paper. Time to go over our picks for this clash, our Underdog Fantasy Picks. Cody started you off with Ryan Preece, better than 12.5 place finishing. I said Ross Chastain would finish better than 11.5. Cody said that KFB would finish better than 7.5. Kyle Busch better than 7.5. I said Denny Hamlin would finish worse than 4.5. Cody said Chase Briscoe would finish worse than 5.5. And Joey Logano for me, worse than 5.5. Like Cody said, you stack those up, 35 times your investment. So a $10 bet will get you a $10 entry will get you $350. That's a good day at the office right there, folks. So let's have some fun with that.
Yeah, that is a great day at the office, Rod, and a lot of fun. So best of luck to you on your Underdog Fantasy plays this weekend.
Yes. All right. Well then, Cody, as we send everybody out into the week, if you haven't already, please go listen to the DFS episode and the betting episode. They are both up. And if you're just joining us, like I said, for the first time earlier, welcome in. I mean, listen, it's kind of getting a barren landscape around here, and we're the ones that are cranking it out. So hopefully you stick with us and we make you some money this week or this year, or at the very least, we entertain you to the point where you don't want to stop listening to us.
And shit, maybe we'll hit a home run and do both, Rod. But yeah, smash that subscribe over on the YouTube channel. We really appreciate it. And click that bell. You can join in live like all these wonderful people did in the chat. We go live for all 3 of our shows every week. So yeah, well, good luck at the Clash this weekend. See you guys next Tuesday. And we're going to begin the Daytona 500 talk, get some Super Bowl talk in there as well. Going to make our official championship bets next week, Rod. I don't remember what else we're doing, but it's Underdog season long. That's the other thing we're doing. Oh, let's fucking go.
Lots of stuff going on. So, all right, Cody, as we depart, remind everybody where they can find you outside of these 4 walls.
Yes, Rod. Follow me over on the X at Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff there. Super Bowl stuff, NFL stuff, arena football stuff, all sorts of things. Check it all out over there. Appreciate it. And follow the show as well at NASCAR Gambling.
Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Link in the bio, everything I got going on, whether it's here, whether it's in between media, the back road. Seth Elliott and I are going to be talking about the Clash later on this evening. Or if you're listening on Friday, it's already up. So make sure you go check that out as well on the In Between Media YouTube channel. Plus, there's some other fun links in there. Plus my Underdog video for the Supercross. Go check that out as well. All right. Love you guys. We'll see you next week. And the next time we talk, Cody, we will be discussing the winner of the Clash. So that'll be a blast. So until then, everyone, let's go racing and let it ride.